Well, hi there, boys and girls, moms and dads, people who will be here anytime now. I'm not. I'm feeling ornery. I'm feeling really ornery. Um, what we're going to talk about today is like politically correct language and why we should um, mind our language and why we should never call anybody out over theirs. Just log it and remember for the next time. But I'm not ready to talk about that because people are here. Cool. Um, we'll save the rest of the sandwich for later. So anyway, to continue, I am going to be using every single fucking politically incorrect word I possibly can think of right now. I grew up in Chicago's melting pot, and you know, blacks were niggers, the Mexicans were spicks, the Italians were mixed, the Italians were Dagos, the Irish were mixed, or the Italians could be Guineas too. The Jews were kikes, and the blacks were niggers. And chinks. We had and zipperheads. You know, had to distinguish between the Japanese and the Chinese because the Chinese were chinks and the Japanese were zipperheads. You know, fag. Some of the fags, the transgender sex workers in my neighborhood, they used to parade up and down right around the corner from my grandmother's house. On Briar and Broadway. Grandma lived around the corner at Berry and Pine Grove. And I'd hang out with them sometimes, or I'd be playing saxophone right where they were hooking. And they were funny as hell. Some of the shit they'd call each other Ms. Thang. But tranny was, you know, they were the trannies. You know, they were the trannies. We're trannies. No, and it's all about context. You know, it's not the word itself. You know, I really don't like using the N-word very much because it is so annoying to me. So why should I go annoy anybody else? My first experience with why it was wrong was with our housekeeper, our nanny, Esther Jordan, who was not a servant. She was an employee. You know, they were you know, this was not a slave. This was a respected employee who was treated like a family member at holiday times and big family passage times and marriages and shit. They were there as guests, not as not as our servants. And pretty much the kids in my family were raised more by the nannies than their actual mothers, especially me. My mother, I can't hardly remember my mother ever doing anything for me except a couple of times when she hugged me tight when she needed it. Of course, Esther didn't hug me very much either. She just bathed me and shit. And one day in the bathtub, I must have been at least 5 because I brought it home from kindergarten or something. I said something about you. I said something and I called something a nigger. And boy, she just pushed my head right under the water and held it there until I couldn't breathe and I was gagging. And she pulled it up, let me get a breath, put it back down for a little while. Hi, MS. Happy day, man, or woman, or whatever you are. I don't know. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I was like, you do not use that word. And I don't usually, unless it's like totally authorized. When I was living in, because I've been the only white person in a completely black crowd. You're third gender. Oh, cool. So how do you like them? They? A lot of times in my life, I've been the only white person, and I'll just spell it out because I really don't want to speak it out because I know too many people that get irritated with me when I do. The Nigger. That's one we're not going to be using here. I'll be referring to it as the N word. Tranny will be referred to as the T word. F word, fuck bomb. I'm a classy lady that says fuck a lot. Well, no, that's why I'm letting y'all know up front that this is a discussion about self-policing yourself with the use of these words. I don't want to see retard in my chatter from anybody. That's the R word. Tranny's the T word. Faggot's the F word. It's why you should police yourself, because when you use these words, you offend people, and then they get angry. And well, that's what I'm saying here, is it's all about the context. Well, and this is exactly what I'm saying, why you should keep your fucking mouth shut. I was talking about it in a lecture phrase. I was not calling somebody that. This is why when you hear the word, don't react to it, because it's all about context. And the reaction leads to conflict, interpersonal conflict. When you react to this shit, it leads to unnecessary interpersonal conflict that's worse than the word. Well, that's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm trying to get across to you. I don't care at this point. I don't use them myself, except when I'm lecturing like this. I'm talking about, well, see, this is neoliberal fascism. Banning language is giving into authoritarianism. When you hear these words that are offensive, you should just shut the fuck up and shun the person. Why put more negative energy into it? Why project more hate? That's what I'm trying to say here. It's not the words, because I could retard the tempo of the music that I'm playing, and that has nothing to do with insulting somebody who's developmentally disadvantaged. And to try and ban a word, and ask, if well, here, guess what? You don't have to. Anybody who freaks out like that with me is just going to disappear from this channel and not be allowed out here. Goodbye. I'm sorry that you have so much trouble with your ability to keep your mouth shut and not get offended. Shit. This is exactly what I'm talking about. We get into the oppression Olympics. Here's a youngster who was obviously seriously emo, probably autistic, getting weird about the use of a word in a lecture context. It's not like I'm calling anybody anything. I'm not labeling anybody with that word. So don't be talking to me about banning language. Well, this is why I'm saying that it does endanger these marginalized groups, is because you empower the word by all this call out culture. You accept the weaponization by getting all like offended and oppressed. No, don't tell me about endangered marginalized groups, hon. They operated on me when I was 15 months old without my consent. So I got no sympathy for sniveling emos and goth kids or anything that, oh, does he don't have me? Just get away from it if you don't like it. Don't try to stand in judgment of somebody just because they have a little different outlook on things. That's bullshit. That is total bullshit. Hey, Mala Viking, how are you doing today? That's what I'm trying to say. That's why I call you all snowflakes. So I get them back, call them broflakes when they start getting bent out of shape over stupid shit. You know, I'm old hippie, baby. You know, I'm old school hippie. Uh, I'm a totally old school hippie. You know, we stand on the happy medium. We're always looking for, you know, the greatest good for the greatest number with the least negative impact on anything. That's the hippie way. You want the most efficient way to do the greatest good for the greatest number with the least negative impact on individuals or the environment. That's the hippie political philosophy that I've been standing on since I was a kid. Happy Medium was the name of a club in Chicago. I'm gonna go finish my sandwich, but I'm not gonna chew it on camera. If a police officer is using those words, you just need to kind of shut the fuck up and swallow it. If they're using it at you, and yes, there should be institutional consequences. The one, you know, there was a guy downtown who was a ball breaker, and I'm old hippie street artist and queer sort, you know, so you know, go ahead, break my balls, and I'm gonna like, you know, make you look stupid. And we had never had any kind of serious confrontation on the street because I never gave him any reason to really break my balls hard. And then one day there was a trespasser I needed removed from my yard, and he showed up, misgendering me, calling me Tom. I tried to explain to him. I said, "Look, man, you need to call me Tommy or Ms. Wasserberg," and he refused to. Kept calling me Tom. So I called down the supervisor, and dude got reamed out right on the spot by him. And then when he got back to the station, got reamed out by the watch commander. And then about a couple of months later, I ran into one of the beat cops and asked about him, and she said that he got transferred out because he was too much of an asshole to be downtown. They don't want to keep people like that downtown. Yeah, there needs to be institutional consequences. There are two things wrong with the police right now. Seriously wrong. The militarization is being like, that's the fucking military hardware and shit. They're selling them, and the Israelis are training them. That's what's fucked up. That's why you see them putting their knee on like 78-year-old woman's head. You're pulling out a taser on a grandma that's like a little slow about coming out of a car. That's fucked up. But you know, if it's just someone spouting this shit, it's like, you know, every time, you know, every time somebody says something, I don't get upset about people accidentally misgendering me. I get bent out of shape when they intentionally do. Is what I was just talking about. I'm saying when, you know, I've spoken a lot about misgendering. You know, Dr. Z's talk on misgendering was inspired by a conversation I had with her about it. My feeling is that you want to ignore it as often as you can if it's just somebody passing through your life. You don't want to take the time or energy to try and correct somebody you're never going to see again. And you know, just disrupt the moment. Whatever else it is you're doing, it's not worth it. It's best to just shine that off. And then you have to just like take it on a case-by-case basis on people that are in your life that are doing it, and where you draw the lines with you know, how often do they do it? How do they react when they do it? You know what? You know, right? You know what I mean? You know, you want to be patient with people that are trying. You have to understand it. They have to disconnect the reflex pathway between their eye and their mouth to be able to properly respect you. You have to keep that in mind, and you have to learn how to gauge what their actual feelings are toward you. You know, I mean, if they're being apologetic and correcting themselves, it's like, cool, it happens. If they're like got to be told all the time and make excuses, it's like at some point you have to cut them off. It's like, okay, you're done. You're out of here. I don't want nothing to do with you anymore. Go away. Um, but making a big scene over it is like totally off. And it reflects on the whole community when that happens. You know, when they got a camera going and somebody's like shrieking at a store clerk over it, that shit goes viral, and it looks bad for all of us. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. I'm like I keep it chill over that. It's like, man, please don't call me sir, and I'd rather not be called ma'am either, unless you can come to attention and salute. Um, but that, you know, sir and ma'am is a real cultural thing, you know, in the South, and you know, American South. That's like the way the culture is, and that you know, and with a lot of, you know, a lot of hippie kinds, I have to put up with being called guy and man all the time. Uh, it's like, no, I better not call him out on that one. Um, you know, because the women talk that way. Hey, man, how's it going? Or hi, guys. Uh, and that gets back to the main point. It's like, you know, what's right for some people is wrong for others. If it's wrong for you, just shut the fuck up. Just leave it alone. You know, you don't have to be like, you know, this is the big problem with fundamentalist Christianity. If you're not like them, you have to be, or you have to die. It's like, you know, hey man, you know, if your religion wants you to kill somebody, why don't you try starting with yourself? It's like, I think I have new neighbors. I saw what looked like people moving in. I hope they don't mind me making noise at 20 hours of the day. And actually, I want to check with them and find, you know, when I'm going to go introduce myself and let them know they're going to hear some noise from here. Because sometimes, you know, I haven't done it in a while, but sometimes there's loud machine noise. I'll get going with the drills. The big drill mix is real loud. And I'll be running it for 20 minutes at a time without. I'll just set it on and be holding it in my lap, doing stones on it. It's loud. That's it. You know, we need to learn how to not. We need to police ourselves. Thought policing is just one of the most fucked up things about the LGBT community, political circus that I've ever seen. I think the thought policing in the queer community is a bigger threat to them than the shit that they're saying is a threat. No. That's all good, man. It's the context. Certain words, though, like the T and the R and the N and the F words, all these words like that are really seriously offensive to a particular special interest group. You have two choices when you use these words. You can either not use them at all or be an asshole. The only exception in my mind, because I do it, this is the only time I use these kind of words, is in a talk like this. Is the only time I use these words. I really even don't use language where I'm saying the L word or the R word or the F word very often. It's like I just avoid that whole racist kind of orientation on the conversation. Just stay away from it. You know, where I grew up is like, we recognize that, yes, we got a white supremacy problem in America. We knew that in our neighborhood, and nobody denied it. But, you know, me as somebody of the middle class, you know, we weren't upper crust or lower crust or anything. We were dead nuts in the middle class, and surrounded by all these other people, we were encouraged, like, okay, we're white, but they're my neighbor, and I have no extra privilege of any kind over them. They should be able to be equal. They should enjoy equal protection under the law that I do, uh, because the fact that they're not white has nothing to do with my privilege. It shouldn't. That we, we're like, okay, well, this is America. We're diverse. Celebrate the diversity, not get all the fear and loathing that everybody's just scared of themselves and each other and hate on each other, and the love's gone. The understanding. Nobody takes the time to listen. Nobody takes the time to slow down and think about what they're about to say. They just blah, 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 blah. And the more angry they are, the worse the words are that come out. Exactly. Let's see what Mullah Viking said. I think it's easy to see when people are doing something to be malicious. Not everyone have the right cultural context, especially if they're from abroad. It just makes it worse to be upset. Yeah, I was dealing with this was something I posted on here. Let me give you the link to it. This is what this discussion is about here right now. Is this essay by Tony D'Orsay, who's like one of the leaders of the resistance of the struggle for. She's the one that organizes the Trans 100, and she's been right on the front line. Fuck that safe and inclusive space. This is my channel. You don't like what's going on here? There's the door. Okay? You need a safe and inclusive place. Come to that door and make it worth my while to protect your sensibilities. Otherwise, I don't give a shit. I'm on a rant. I could give a fuck less about anybody's safe and inclusive space right now. I don't care about that. There's, Ecclesiastes, there's a time for everything. And you can't come into an open public, an open milieu with all different cultures mixing together and then just start making demands on them because you feel offended. Fuck off with that shit. Go find somewhere else. Go make your own space. Don't force other people to behave according to your standards. My rap on that was it's everybody's right to have equal rights, but to demand special treatment's just being an asshole. This is not a safe space. You see what people bring at me. How can you demand a safe and inclusive space from me? Kind of stupid shit what's that shit? And come at me and tell me you're third gender and expect me to respect that without an argument. And I am respecting it without an argument. I'm not calling you out on it. I'm not going to fucking have you tell me about something and then start laughing at you because I think it's ridiculous. Okay? Because I don't do that to anybody. I don't question anybody's fucking motives. Not even fetishes. Not even, it's like, that's your thing. Goodbye. If your thing it qualifies as being defined as transgender, I don't care about what that kind of transgender person thinks about it. This is all between you and me. Okay? And I'm judging you on nothing but your words and your deeds. I don't give a shit about anything else. I guess smell qualifies as deeds and bug carrying and stuff. That's what I care about. I don't care how fat your wallet is. I don't care how physically abled or disabled you are. You're either cool or you're an asshole in my world. Everything else is just something interesting to talk about and being nice to each other about. You're either a nice person and talking about these things, or you're not a nice person and talking about these things. I've been in genteel company that can use these forbidden words in polite conversation. If you're angry and using, take it somewhere else. This is not what this is about. Like I said, I'm going to go finish the sandwich. Well, no, I'm raging today. I'm raging right now. You took my trigger. You want to talk about safe? I'm homicidal. I'm not suicidal. I have homicidal tendencies. So you don't want to trip my trigger. You're not going to get me upset and go wanting to cut myself. You can get me wanting to cut you. Excuse me. MS. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Is that it's important to to police yourself for these reasons. And when you find yourself in the company of someone who uses language, oh boy, we'll get to that in a little bit, Molly. When you find yourself in the company of people that use these languages, what I'm saying is don't call them out on it. Just make a note of it. And adjust the way that you communicate with them accordingly. That's what I'm saying. And I'm saying don't call them out. It's the fighting that makes it worse. John Holiday, what military training I have had? None by the United States military. The cough is chronic and congenital. Okay. Well, I don't know if it was congenital. It might have been the result of it might have been a result of the surgery they did. They really fucked up my endocrine system when they messed with my shit down here. I have all kinds of health issues. You'll hear me sniffling and snuffling all the time. It's been this way since I was a little kid. And smoking does not help it. And I've been under a lot of stress lately. And when I'm stressed out, I smoke too much. So it's, the cough is not real good right now. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and we'll discuss this. And I have an acupuncture session coming up right after the doctor's appointment. I'm also speaking, if I remember to register, just for a couple of minutes. Arizona repealed its no homo promo law, where LGBTQ education was forbidden in elementary education. And I've been asked to speak on the importance of LGBTQ education in primary curricula. All these guys, I'm too young and I shouldn't let them be kids. And it's no, man. From 3 to 6 is when they're deciding what kind of kid to be. And these kids need to learn uh, actually, it's the parents. The kids are okay with it. If a little boy shows up in kindergarten being a little girl, the kids don't know the difference until they're told. Um, and I think what needs to happen is that people need to learn the difference between, where sex and where the boundaries, how sex and gender line up in terms of our behavior and in terms of our behavior and our behavior and that behavior. It's like my sex does not match my gender. Okay, now I've managed to like come to grips with that and don't like have no urgent need to get it like converted so that it is incongruent with my gender. But I have a real like deep understanding of that and know how wrong these people that are critical of it, these gender critical people talking about all the things that people are doing to the kids, when in fact what's really happening is the kids are just like struggling for recognition that they're gender bent. And the doctors stepped in about 20 years ago and said, okay, let's try it this way because that's obviously not working. And they've been, that's what the Hippocratic Oath is about. They're seeing that what they're doing isn't working. And they can't see any harm in just like, okay, well, if the kid, if the little boy wants to wear his hair long, cool. You want to wear a tutu, cool. Go, daddy, go out and get a tutu with the kid. And just let the kid be. In Europe, they have something called watch and wait, watchful waiting, which is a little different because that's kind of like waiting to find out whether or not they should actually medically transition the person. Where under the affirmative protocols, it's like, okay, let the kid be what the kid wants to be. And we just watch for how consistent, persistent, and insistent the child is in their transgender identity. And by the time they're coming on to Tanner stage 2 puberty, if they're really transgender, their behavioral health is breaking down because they're like having awful problems with the idea that, oh shit, there's going to be hair on my face, or oh my god, I'm going to have boobs. And so at that point, the ones who actually are transgender need the blockers, and the ones who aren't will not be like trying to get them. So shut the fuck up about that. And same thing with the surgery. Is they're not doing sex change operations on children. They're not allowed to. There's been very few that have had the surgery before they were 18. Emily Fishbaugh is one of very rare exceptions, and she was almost 18 when they let her do it just last month. Kim Petras is the youngest ever, and they made her wait until 11 to start the chemotherapy and 16 for the surgery. And boy, that sure was successful. As far as, they talk about desistance, the desistance rate and all that. Well, hey, I'm seeing geeky young boys. I've been since year 2000. I've been watching geeky young boys grow up into beautiful young women. And I'm starting to see like girls of all different, shapes and sizes going from turning into happy men. And it's nice to see because they're happy. It's the first time in Western history that there's been a generation of happy and well-adjusted trans people. We have been so fucking, you want to talk about what is it indeed? What did you say? What kind of minority are we? What was it? I forgot. Targeted minorities, so I usually said. But I forgot where I was going. I have a few things I need to look at real quick, like some notifications here at Facebook, see if there's anything I need to respond to. Neat. Nothing there. People are starting to wonder why there's so much interest in hurting me, um, and ask questions and be a lot more supportive. Now I see it going on. Is this anyway? Back to the topic. I think I pretty much shot my wad on that, and I don't really feel like hanging around small talk. So has anybody else got anything to say about like why you should just like ignore it and not confront it? I mean, we're all agreed that the words are wrong. Uh, I hope we're all agreed that we shouldn't be banning language. We should let language guide us in how to react to another person. You want to be treated the way you want to treat everybody the way you want to be treated. So if here's Joe Sixpack running his mouth all racist and bigoted and not, it just makes more sense to me to say, okay, bye, Joe Sixpack, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, then get up in his face and try and school him. Okay. When we're in the LGBT community, there's so much lateral hostility because the jargon of one group is offensive to the jargon to the jargon of another, and we need to just like shut the fuck up about that. Do I approve of the bail bond system? I have a feeling I'm gonna like not. Well, ask me more. I don't know what you're talking about. I have very little to do with. Is this about any particular bail bondsman? Or just the system as a whole? Oh, no, not at all. I call the municipal court system America's only working railroad. And the courts aren't fair. It's something I was discussing with a congressperson the other day. Is that here I am, one of 2,000 targets of kiwi farms, with very clear civil tort. I'm not sure how to word this. I have a slam dunk civil case against kiwi farms and another message board, if I could afford a lawyer. Yeah, the legal aid will defend you in a lawsuit, but they won't sue anybody for you for any reason. So here we are. Oh no, I'm suing the police. I'm suing the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to the court with that. I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going to sue the police for not ordering a RICO investigation, and then I'm going demand a RICO investigation on kiwi farms and AMB. I don't see a civil case any kind of against kiwi farms or AMB as being viable and really potentially fruitful. I need them to be like isolated as criminals or undesirable to do business with. So I'm going to go after their hosts and the cop and law enforcement, not them. I've been telling them that for years. Racketeering, organized crime. I forget what it actually is. It's racketeering. I forget what the I is. It's racketeering, organized crime. Yeah, the cough. What happens? I'm a booger factory, and my sinuses will get clogged, and then I get postnasal drip, and my larynx will get clogged, and that's what's going on since I was a kid. And yes, smoking exacerbates it, but it's not the cause, and there's no lung damage. My lungs are clear. So all upper respiratory, larynx to sinuses. Sweet Sally Short Throat. Anybody addressing me by that name? You only get to do it once. What would you like, ma'am? Don't call me that name again. Yeah, here's where it's at. You probably heard fake tranny, all this other happy horse shit. I'm not a transsexual person. Okay? I'm a trans feminine male with an intersex condition. My presentation is actually pretty gender neutral. So if you can't handle she, I prefer they to he, because my male aspect's extremely unpleasant. And people who call me Tom, or just are questioning my gender, are trying to get me angry, and I won't put up with that on my channel anymore. How would a mafia law affect a forum? I don't really understand what the cops can do in a situation like that. Oh well, there's illegal activity going on. I got contacted by some people who identify themselves as Antifa that have been tracking 8chan for a while. And they wanted to ask me some questions about what I knew. We're just starting to get to know each other, but there's financial crime going on, and imposters and the use of sending threats over electronic media. There's all kinds of federal crimes these guys commit, but they're such petty things with so little financial harm and threat to the public safety that's beneath the threshold of the FBI. There's got to been dozens of reports to the FBI and local law enforcement agencies all over the fucking country about them, and the locals can't do anything, and the feds won't. And you got the First Amendment standing in the way, because then you got to go through everything and determine exactly where the First Amendment boundaries were crossed. There's a lot of shit they do is like totally fucking protected, completely protected. Incitement is not, libel is not, but just passing judgment on somebody's like grooming habits is totally protected. Yeah, absolutely, especially with AMB, because those guys are involved in big time property crime and drug trafficking, possibly. I have no way of knowing if the things that they've been feeding me are real or if they're feeding me. What I do know is that they're scammers. They do the 419 letters, and Oh, kiwifarms.net. Don't go there. It's a dangerous site to go on. It's a troll base that's owned by an alt-right incel. Do you know what an incel is? That's short for involuntary celibate, or somebody who's such a piece of shit he can't get laid. Wrong smoke. Virus tracking software, all sorts of shit. You don't want to go there unless you're behind it. You don't want to go there unless you're behind a really solid firewall. Trust me. That's a dirty site. I sometimes get warnings from my security software about it. And there's all kinds of bots all over the place. But they target, they find peculiar people to make fun of. And they claim that they have a hands-off policy, but that's not what happens. They got on my case. I got pizzas coming to my door, and people telling me they're leaving pipe bombs outside my door, all sorts of shit. Why do I have this page open? Do I have any need to have this page open? Oh yeah, I forgot I'm streaming. uh, when it gets like this, I need a blast of CBD oil to loosen it up here. And where's the Flonase? I bet everything's all topsy-turvy right now. Yeah. Yeah, it's not COPD. Sorry to disappoint you guys. Where's my Flonase? There it is. This stuff is real cool. This works. This helps get things moving. None of those none of the inhalers for asthma ever work on me because it's not my lungs that need the help. It's not down in the alveoli, but it's getting clogged up here. Oh, I'm sorry, you probably can't see me. The asthma inhalers, those don't do anything for me because my lungs are okay. It's all between here and here that the problem is. I really need to figure out how to shut this fucking phone up. It's just always buzzing. Why did this buzz just now? What made it buzz? Oh, that's what made it buzz, an incoming message. We have a new threat. No. Excuse me, I need to go and check on someone from would someone mind tracing down 408-714-0307? This guy says he's stalking me outside. This is the one with the pipe bomb. I'm sitting down the street in my black Ford F-250. I'm always watching your home and you. We'll be seeing each other more than you think, and maybe I'll be seeing you out and about more, but you won't be seeing me, I should say, A34. I need to go take a quick scan and see if there's a black F-250 out there, and if there is, I'm going to need to have the cops come and verify whether it belongs in the neighborhood or not. No Ford F-250. This is just getting too stupid. No. Please stop worrying me about later and just blow up my house already. Hey, why is that open? Oh, that's why that's open. But what was I getting? I forgot what I was posting. That's easy enough. Block and report in one button. Oh, that's not that's not so bad. I shaved this morning. Why is my beard growing so fast now? I hope that doesn't have anything. That's not had nothing to do with the. Wah, wah. They're never gonna do anything. Cops don't give a fuck. Cops totally don't give a fuck. They have no jurisdiction. High ear consent. Who communicated with Antifa about Kiwi Farms? Antifa has been watching 8chan for years. Why is this keep just stop doing that? The screen sizer. The guys that contacted me last night said they've been watching 8chan for a long time, some kind of internet police thing. So what's all those California things that you why the fuck is this happening? I think I might have a hacker here. I think I may have a hacker. Just stop that. That should not be happening. Something's up with my mouse. Yeah, something is up with my mouse. It's doing something it shouldn't be doing. Why should they take a bomb threat seriously? I'll tell you what I call. I'll see if I can't get the public affairs officer on the line for you. Bounce it off his head. Oh no, it's 6 o'clock. Police also take false reporting seriously. Okay? I already know these are false bomb threats. If I were to call it in, they'd be pissed at me. Bad enough already. And that's what these guys are trying to do. Is get me to make false reports. And you know what? I was asked if I got any rest last night, and I got a few hours. I managed to get a few hours. They let me sleep from about 4 o'clock until 7. Well, they were nice enough to leave me alone for a few hours. Well, when you've been getting harassed by fucking lying sacks of shit for 20 years, you get to know these things. And you know, they're not real. These people are just like fucking they're video gamers, man. They're playing video games. And someday they're going to discover that in a real time setting that you can't and when the game's over and you're dead, you stay dead. When you go to jail, you ain't gonna pay $200 to get out. You know, no get out of jail card. You're gonna go to jail and serve your time. And you come up to the wrong person on the street and run your mouth about that kind of shit, and you're gonna find out you're getting carried away. So there's no for me to continue to indulge these people. This is stupid. Well, yeah, even if especially yeah, okay, we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll have the cops tell you what they think of this. We'll have the cops tell you what they think.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
This is a non-emergency TPD situation, please.
Okay, that's okay. What's going on there, sir?
Pardon me?
What's occurring there?
Bomb threats.
Where are you?
I don't want to say yet. I get bomb threats by text message.
Okay, and they're trying to bomb your location?
Right.
And why do you consider that not an emergency?
Because I know it's a fake bomb threat.
Okay. So in order to make a report or do anything about it, then I have to know where you are, sir.
I'm not a sir, please.
Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Well, it's okay. I'm not really exactly a regular woman either. I'm an intersex person. I'm kind of both.
Okay.
If you think it's worthwhile to report it as false bomb threats, sure. But I'm reasonably certain that this is a false bomb threat. I mean, it's only the fourth one in the last 4 days.
Okay.
And nothing's exploded yet. I'm sorry, say what?
Have you made a report of it already?
Oh yeah, there's there he got photos even. Here's the report number from the last one is 1908130275. Now I have no idea how he reported this. It's electronic terrorism is what's going on. I don't know how he wrote it up, but that's my complaint is electronic terrorism.
Just one moment. Bear with me. I'm going to look up that event. I want to read this.
Okay, thank you.
Stay on the line with me, please. I'm just researching something first.
No problem. I'm just twisting a doobie.
Okay, is this Tommy I'm speaking with?
That's me.
Okay. Okay. And when did you receive the threats? At what time?
Oh gosh, they're all in my phone. I've been receiving them steadily for the last 72 hours. The last one just came in the last 5 minutes. And the only reason I'm calling now is I'm broadcasting, and one of the people in my audience thought that you should report it. I told him, no, look, it's just a false bomb threat. So he said, you should go to jail anyway for making false bomb threats, which is true. So I said, okay, I'll call him and we'll see what happens. So that's where we're at.
Okay, so the case number you gave me involves a suspicious vehicle. So you think that these bomb threats are related to that again?
Well, this is vehicle. The complaint is electronic terrorism. Targeted cyberbullying is the complaint. The issue last night was somebody was calling me saying that they were in a white Silverado outside.
Okay.
And that was I guess that's how he wrote it up, because it was like, okay, well, you guys are real busy tonight, and this is getting stupid. And would you at least like verify that that vehicle belongs to you in the neighborhood? So that's what that was about. But the overall complaint is targeted cyberbullying.
Okay. And what's the phone number that's texting you? Do you have that?
Oh yeah, several of them. Let me get to the screen.
What's the latest one, please?
Let me get to the screen.
Okay. While you're doing that, are you still at 160 East 21st Street?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, here's the most recent one. Just came from Most recent one just came from 585-6984. And it came 2 minutes ago. And starting at 6:08 p.m. We'll meet soon, Thomas. The cops do not care about any of this. They think you're a joke. The chief said so last week, and even so last night. It's real. You have 20 minutes.
Okay, so where did they try to blow something up? Was that
Let me back up and get to it. No, that's not here. You did bomb threat. There's multiple people doing it. Okay, that's from last night. Let me find it. There was just a bomb threat.
I need to know what time that came in.
I'm looking for it.
If you don't mind, while you're doing that, I want to ask you something else. Is that okay?
Sure. I'm not finding it now. I'm not sure what. Oh, I know what happened to it. I blocked the number.
Okay. About what time did you receive the bomb threat?
I don't know because it came from. I blocked the number, so I can't find. It was probably about half hour ago.
Okay. And that's okay. And when the person threatened, did they were there any sounds in the background? Did they get specific as to what was going to happen? The bomb, anything?
Oh, one of them. This has been going. There's been multiple calls. Okay, over the last several days. Here's numbers that I blocked. Oh, here's one just came in. This just came in. Let's go get it. Oh, before I go there, 408-714-0307, 201-467-4859, and 586-482-8134. The one that just came, this is the one I just read to you. I'm driving a 93 Ford Bronco. I'm mulling my options. Might crash into your house.
93 Ford Bronco?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to send officers to your location for a report of threats of harm, and because you're getting multiple different types of threats of harm.
Right. I do not believe there's any credibility to any of them. They're just trying to make me insane.
Okay. I'll note that as well. Better safe than sorry then. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. Happy day.
Yes. Same to you.
Bye-bye. They won't. They totally won't. They totally won't. Yeah, they like to make me dance. They get a kick out of me, like, doing what a normal citizen should do while they do their video game on me. And they're all dead meat soon. Every last one of them. People like that. They're not going to survive the world change. Not going to survive it. I didn't realize that it was going to disappear like that. I needed to block him. He was being persistent. I think I hear my neighbors. I want to go and say hello. I heard somebody moving in. Hello. Hello. Hi, I'm Tommy. Hi, Manny. I'm single too. I'm Marion. Daughter? Oh, so you live alone? No. I'm a musician. Okay, well, this was important because the cops are on their way. And the other thing that's important is I'm not a man, sir, please. I'm a victim of targeted cyber terrorism. It's nothing really, but I'm not male. please.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Katie, hi. I'm Tommy.
Hi, Tommy. Love your movie.
You're gonna be here? I'm a musician. What are the hours where you need quiet?
Well, my daughter.
So I can start early and I need to quit early. I don't have to worry about it at 8 in the morning. Listen. But by 9, you need quiet for
Well,
some
9
reason. No problem. No problem. But most of it, I play on the street late at night.
Also, I can't remember what that's called. Yeah.
Busking.
Yeah.
What did you say your name was again?
Heidi?
Heidi and your husband?
That's good.
Your dad?
Manny?
Manny. Hello. Happy day. But the cops are on their way, but it's no big thing. It's on phone and internet. Oh boy, oh boy. There's a neighbor moving in. I just tried to unblock it and I couldn't. What's going on here is that I wasn't going to call the cops, but somebody talked me into doing it so I could demonstrate how little they cared about this shit. Mark the time. It's 6:20 now. They've had real bad week. There was a officer involved shooting today up at Fort Lowell Park on the other side of town. I don't expect them to be responding anytime soon. Like, I'm not going to lay down for a couple of hours. But they're going to take a report about terror, threats of harm. This is the I don't want. I'll just start rambling. I'll just start rambling. I probably should just play some music, huh? I'd rather. I haven't been playing enough, which is one of the reasons the cough is bad, because that helps the cough because it keeps things moving. knows anything about improvisation? Who wants to say something about improvising music? Somebody, before I say anything, say something about improvising music. Do my neighbors seem nice, Tommy? It's an old guy and 2 daughters, quite possibly recently widowed. I'm just guessing on that. I don't see the mother anywhere. I had to like inform him that I wasn't male already, but the daughters were cool with that. I didn't speak to the son, or I guess maybe husband of one of the daughters. I don't know. The daughters were nice, and old guy was way too busy to want to talk and meet me. There's youngster there. There's school age, because that was what I wanted to let him know the cops were on the way, and I wanted to ask him about when it was okay to make noise. So like early in the morning is okay. I might start doing a morning session, and before 10, I might start coming on and playing in the morning, because she said the kids going to school by 7. Do I know the Three's Company theme? No. The only I used to be able. Let me see if I can't find Gilligan. No, I cannot today. Maybe Beverly Hillbillies. The only one I really know is off the top of my head is MASH theme. No, I can't. I'm not even in the right key. That's right. I keep telling people that. Oh no, I haven't had a chance to look at it, man. No, I don't. I never watched the Brady Bunch. All of that. I haven't watched. I haven't had a TV since 2005. I haven't had. I usually play it on a saxophone. I wasn't in the right key. I totally wasn't even in the right keyboard there. I've had TV since 2005. Hardly watched any TV since 1982. I haven't been in a movie theater since 1984. Well, I've been in a movie theater once, but that was just to see a documentary. I'm a live music head. If I didn't see you, I didn't hear it. and that has been that way for most of the last 30 years. If I wasn't there, I didn't hear it happen. I was off grid mostly from 1982 to 1999. Hogan's Heroes, that's a good one. I'm in process of like reorganizing my space so that it's set up better for playing. I need more room behind me. I'm always bumping into shit when I'm playing. So I'm bringing my keyboard. I moved the stone tables all the way back, so I got this all open behind me. I'm bringing my keyboard over here, so I have it right here. Somebody, it's gonna cost $20 for somebody to get me to play that fucking tune. Okay, you want me to play that tune in public? I'll let you know when I'm ready to do it. It's gonna cost $20 to get me to whip it out. Sound fair? It's a lame ass song, but it's got a difficult. It starts on a bad note. It starts on a difficult note to hit clean as the first note, because it's above the high. It's above the I forget what it's going to come out to on the soprano, but it's above the high C is the opening note. And that one I'll put together. I'll rehearse it a little bit. When I get myself set up, I'll play it through a few times until I'm satisfied that I can put it out in public, and then I'll play it for you. When I get my room cleaned up. I really need to clean up the room though, because my friend's daughter is dying of cystic fibrosis any day now, and I'm going to be doing ceremony here for her for a week. What's called Shiva. He said Shiva helped It takes 7 days to cross the rainbow bridge to heaven. And that's what they do, is they pray for 7 days after a person dies. But you know what? It's been an hour and a half, and we're well past what I wanted to talk about. I want to thank you guys all for coming. And Milton, I'm going to go right now. That's the other reason I wanted to cut it off, is because I haven't had a chance to even open what you sent. I haven't even looked at it. So I'm going to say thanks. I might be back later. I don't know. I doubt it. I'll probably be around tomorrow, though. Well, I don't know. I won't. I have tomorrow. Well, if I'm online tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming from a meeting about LGBTQ education in the schools. So thanks again. Happy day. Bye-bye.